Hi, today I'm going to bring a Swedish inspired pound cake or butter cake. It's with cardamom. I'm calling it my Swedish spelt cardamom loaf cake, and it's delicious, moist and buttery. And if you'd like to see how I make my Swedish inspired cardamom cake, come with me and let's see. My name's Sue and this is Sue Marie P, and welcome to my temporary Swedish kitchen. We're in limbo land at the moment. We're waiting to get our permanent residence. So in the meantime, I've got this kitchen, but I don't have any of my favourite tools. All my things are still in storage, so I need to do it with what I've got here. I've got one loaf tin, so I'm going to do a cake in a loaf tin today. And I've got all the ingredients ready to go, so I'm just going to zoom you over here. I'm going to use 150 grams of white spelt flour, and in there I'm going to put two teaspoons of baking powder. I've got just regular white sugar. I couldn't get caster sugar, so that's 150 grams. I'll put some other measurements up above as usual. I've got 2 eggs, 100 mils of oat milk, and I've got 150 grams of pre-cubed butter. And I've got a little bit of spice here, cardamom, ground cardamom, 3 teaspoons. But if you don't have cardamom, you could swap it out for cinnamon. And I'm going to pop a little bit of cardamom and sugar on the top. So first step into this bowl, we're going to whisk the baking powder and the cardamom. So I'm just going to whisk that by hand. That's just to combine it. I don't have a sieve here, so that will combine everything nicely. You need to prepare your loaf tin. I'm doing it in a small loaf tin, and I've done the scrunched paper method where I just wet some paper under the tap and I scrunch it up and place it in here. And preheat your oven to 180 degrees C, and I'll pop some Fahrenheit measurements above. Now we're going to whisk up our butter and sugar. So my butter I've had softening at room temperature, so it's kind of like squidgy. You don't want it too soft and you don't want it too hard, because we want to cream this butter and sugar. Now here in Sweden, I'm still getting used to the Swedish language. I don't speak Swedish, and I could only get salted butter, so I'm not going to add any pinches of salt or anything. Cream them for a few minutes until they're light and fluffy. So you can see that this is all light and fluffy, and it's gone a little bit pale in colour. So now what we do is we add our eggs. I've got 2 large eggs. I'm just going to add them one at a time and mix for about 20 seconds on the first speed. Then I'll add the other egg, mix it again for about 20 seconds. Next step is I'm going to add the flour. I've got my spelt flour mixed, but I'm not going to add it all at the same time. I'll do about 1/3 of it. And it's important at this stage, you don't want to add too much air to your batter. So I'm just mixing it until the flour's combined. And I do it in 3 goes. So I'll push my mixer to the side. Now I'm going to add in the balance of the flour. And then I'm going to grab my oat milk. You can use regular milk, soy milk, pea milk, whatever milk you like. So that was at 100 mils, which is just under half a cup. And now I'm just going to blend this with my spatula. Now if you look and you see you've got too many lumps, you can give it a quick burst with this, but no more than about 20 or 30 seconds. So that's helped it along, and it's nice and creamy, yet everything's combined, it's not too over whipped. So grab your loaf tin. Just flattening it out with this tiny spatula, just so it's all smooth on the top. Now grab your extra cardamom. There's about half a teaspoon. I'm going to sprinkle that on top. This is optional, but it gives a nice crunchy top, and it gives that real cardamom Swedish kind of feel. And I've got 3 teaspoons of the white sugar. I'm just going to sprinkle that on top as well. Probably don't need all that. 2 would have been enough. Tap it out to get any air bubbles out. My batter's in. Now my cake's ready to bake in the oven. I'm going to do it for about 45 minutes, but I'm going to keep an eye on it just in case it browns quickly. I'm back with my cardamom cake. It's all cooked, and it's got this lovely crunchy top to it. I forgot to tell you, in Swedish, cardamom is called kardemumma, and this cake is known as Kardemummakaka, which is a really strange word. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes since it's come out of the oven, and I've been cooling it. Look at the texture. It looks so buttery and light, and I'm going to try and taste some. I'm probably cutting it too early. It's probably best to let it cool slightly, but I'm always impatient and I love eating warm cake straight from the oven. And when I've made this previously, it stayed fresh for about 3 days. It was just so moist. So I'm just going to bite into it. The texture is so light and fluffy and just melts in your mouth. I don't even mind the salted butter and the crunchy top. So I said to my husband, this cake reminded me of a cardamom bun, but such an easier way of making it because you can just whip it up. You don't have to worry about the dough proving or rising. If you can get your hands on some ground cardamom, or if you've got cardamom pods and you can grind them at home, give this recipe a go. It's so delicious. I love it. I could sit here and eat the whole cake. Hope you've enjoyed my Swedish cardamom cake called Kardemummakaka. Let me know in the comments below if you give this recipe a go. It's so beautiful and buttery. It's not a healthy cake, but it's delicious. Yum. I can't wait to bring you some more Swedish recipes. And I'll see you next time. Bye.